Okay, we are there. Fantastic. Let's make sure we're live out to all the networks. Beautiful. We are live to the networks. That is good there. Let's just see if Twitter is going on. Beautiful and good. Awesome. It looks like everything is decently good. I'm just checking a couple things and then I'm going to find out how many of you folks are on. Good, we are on. Excellent. We have people popping in. Beautiful. Awesome. I'm going to look down here because my new software is working now. So we have Plattsburgh, New York. We have Boston, Massachusetts. We have, let's see, Long Island as well. Nova Scotia, beautiful. Awesome. Colorado. We're going to talk about Colorado tonight. Absolutely. Clearwater, beautiful. Michigan, good. Let's see here. How many people are popping in here? This is great. I have to look down now to see my comments because of the way the software works, but that's okay. Upstate New York, West Virginia, Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, Deltona around the corner. Hello, Kathy. You guys are awesome. Georgia, very cool. So we're going to do some fun stuff tonight. Let's dive right in. If you guys ever have any problems with any of the software that I'm working on now and working through, let me know, whether it's audio, video, anything like that. If all is good, though, we're going to continue on. Just let me know, and I will handle, okay? Beautiful. We are up and going. And keep in mind, tonight, by the way, Dr. Jason Dean, Revolution Network, your source for and knowledge. And we're gonna have some fun tonight, okay? We're gonna go into some President Trump stuff today, because if you are not fully entertained at this point by the president and what's going on in his press briefings, you don't need television anymore. You don't need entertainment. The president provides the entertainment. He hammered away at a couple of journalists today, or pressers. And then he went into Obamagate, which I'm going to show you tonight, which is really hilarious. And when you hear what he said, and also we're going to dive into some stuff about what he said about vaccines. So if you're ready, we're going to jump right in and we're going to handle this and we're going to get to it. How does that sound? Awesome. Let's go into what President Trump today. Well, first of all, we're going to do some things of what he said about vaccines. And then we're going to dive into what he said in a presser today on Obamagate, okay? So let's dive into that real quick, and I'm going to bring it up for you. Good, here we go. Let's get over to here. Okay, now, here we go. You can all see this and watch this, I hope, and I hope it's working all for you perfectly. Excellent. Here we go. It's a little bit delayed there, so what I see right now, there you go.
Well, I feel about vaccines like I feel about tests. This is going to go away without a vaccine. It's going to go away, and we're not going to see it again, hopefully, after a period of time. You may have some flare-ups, and I guess, I would expect that. Sometime in the fall, you'll have flare-ups, maybe. Maybe not, but according to what a lot of people say, you probably will. We'll be able to put them out. You may have some flare-ups next year, but eventually it's going to be gone. It's going to be gone. There are some viruses and flus that came and they went for a vaccine. They never found the vaccine and they disappeared. They've never shown up again. They die too, like everything else. They die too. And so whether we do or not, I think great progress is being made by Johnson & Johnson, by Oxford and some others. NYU, I see, is very advanced. But if you don't get it, this is going to go away at some point.
So he says it's going to go away. So I want to come back up here for a second, because he says it's going to go away and we won't have the problem anymore, and we won't need a vaccine because it'll go away without the vaccine. So I don't know what everybody feels about this, but I know a lot of people out there are chiming in. They're worried about the vaccine. They're worried about what he's going to say. Worried about mandatory vaccines. He obviously says that this is going to go away without the vaccine. So very important. Obviously, we've talked about optics before, but this is so huge because he's actually saying this, which means even if they do call out a vaccine either in the fall or winter or into next year, keep in mind, the way he's talking, you don't necessarily see where anything mandate's going to come down for a vaccine. And even if there was, we're not going to take that. Obviously, we've all agreed to that. but his words are saying we can do this without a vaccine. Okay, now we're going to jump into the presser and to see what he talks about the press conference today on Obamagate, and we're going to dive into that. So let's see. Here we go. Bring you back over to my page. Good. Now it's got a oh, there we go. Okay, good. So here we go.
Mr. President, in one of your Mother's Day tweets, you appear to accuse President Obama of the biggest political crime in American history by far. Those were your words. What crime exactly are you accusing President Obama of committing, and do you believe the Justice Department should prosecute him?
Obamagate. It's been going on for a long time. It's been going on from before I even got elected, and it's a disgrace that it happened. And if you look at what's gone on, and if you look at now all of this information that's being released, and from what I understand, that's only the beginning. Some terrible things happened, and it should never be allowed to happen in our country again. And you'll be seeing what's going on over the coming weeks. But I wish you'd write honestly about it, but unfortunately, you choose not to do so. Yeah, John, please.
What is the crime exactly that you're accusing him of?
You know what the crime is. The crime is very obvious to everybody. All you have to do is read the newspapers, except yours.
Okay, I will come back up here and we will talk about what he just said, because obviously quite hysterical. So he is saying Obamagate is the crime. You know exactly what it was. He is not even holding back at this anymore. He is just coming straight at you. And then when there was a follow-up question, he is hammering them for... Now, I don't remember. I think it was either Concast, as he says, or probably CNN Fake News, one of those two, where he was actually stating that you should write about it in the news and you should write a good article, but you're not going to, because that's not what you guys do. That's not what you guys do at all. You actually just continue to make fake stories, put fake stories out there, bash him. And keep in mind, when we talk about this, we're not diving into the fact that, like, you can't have journalists. The problem is, if you guys have understood and seen that it's not about questions necessarily. It's, if you go way back, now keep in mind, you've always had deep state or cabal journalists. So even Walter Cronkite was part of the deep state. So we have never actually seen real journalists, real media. We've just never seen it. We don't even know what it looks like, because that's not what they're doing. So going forward, I don't actually know, other than One American News, or OANN, One American News Network, running stories like they do. That is an actual honest journalistic integrity network. Are they perfect? Probably not, obviously. And quite honestly, it's a very new network. I went and looked on YouTube, and they only have probably about I think it was 500,000 subscribers on YouTube. Now, there might be more people that actually watch them, but keep in mind, that's a small organization, and yet they have press credentials for the president, and he is praising them. So what does journalism look like going forward? I don't even necessarily know at this point. I think it's completely amazing. There are other organizations out there, yes, like Cheddar and stuff like that. I don't necessarily watch them. I look at them every once in a while, but I don't know what they're promoting. Just know that journalism is changing, and not only do we have these little networks popping up, however, you also have myself. You have the other Anons out there. You have all these people out there who actually are, we're not necessarily journalists, but they're just reporting on the actual news. You're going to see journalism go from a deep state setup, CIA operatives, over to real journalism, where basically just the story is reported, and you are going to be able to decide as an individual what that looks like for you. So I think that is absolutely phenomenal. Now, the next video clip I want to take you to is Shelley Luther, who was in the state of Texas, her salon. She went back to work to provide for her family as well as her other basically independent contractors. And the other day, you kind of know the story, the judge went against her, was going to put her in jail for 7 days, like a $7,000 fine. And she beat that, obviously, got a lot of people behind her, a ton of money. However, she was in The View today. Now, let me just show you the clip, first of all, because it's insane. The View is a bunch of hags who have horrible opinions. They have no idea what they're talking about, and it is unfortunate because they could do a good job. And even McCain, is it Meghan McCain? Her dad was a traitor to the government. She knows that full well, even though she tries to promote that he wasn't. But they are a train wreck of a show. It's completely over the top, deep state liberal, and she was on there. Now, as I go into this, she did a decent job. I will tell you, if you are making any roughly of any feathers in this whole movement right now, and you get called in by a national news network, ABC, The View, just know, one, you're going to be nervous, but do the best you can to prepare, because I can tell she was trying to do her best, but she was a little shaky. She did a great job overall, but at the end, they tried to roll over the whole time. At the end, she made a comment. We'll go into it, but let me first show you what this looks like, and we'll dive into it. Okay. Okay, here we go. We're going to the Texas salon owner, Shelley Luther. This is the last 40 seconds of this with Major Hag, Whoopi Goldberg, who is terrible. And I'm only watching this because she was on there. I watched this clip today, and that was it. I will not give them airtime, but here you go.
Okay, well, the one thing that I do want to point out, Shelley, before we go, is that, I understand why you did what you did, but I would like to hear you put some of that fury and that passion towards the governments that didn't take care of the people, because that's what they're supposed to do. So I want you to get out there and fight for all those folks who are not getting what they're supposed to be getting and not getting the information that they need. And then I think I'll feel better about watching you tell people I'm feeding my people. I get it. We thank you for coming in, Shelley. We come back and let us know how it's going.
Okay, so let's dive in here real quick. Now, she didn't get to talk there. She spoke, obviously, the first 6 minutes. She did a decent job. But my concern is, very interesting what Whoopi said at the end. Now, she didn't get her a chance to Shelley to reply. It was the end of the clip, end of the interview. But she made a point to say that the government is supposed to take care of us. Now, did anybody else catch that statement? Folks, I don't know if you know this, but keep in mind, we have developed a massive socialized system here in America. Now, we are a republic. Free market capitalism is supposed to be our economic system. It is not anymore. It's been overtaken. We're actually more socialist, but we are still supposed to be a republic. They're trying to change it to a democracy and then a socialistic nation and then a communistic nation. So just so you know, this country was founded not to take care of us. And the way Whoopi is saying this is, we're supposed to take care of people by feeding them, by paying them, by taking this thing. Know full well that's what Whoopi meant by that comment. The government is actually supposed to get the hell out of our way. That's what they're supposed to do. Government is supposed to be small and limited, and we tell the government what they're supposed to do. But if you notice, Whoopi actually did a really good job of flipping it to make it sound like we're supposed to be taken care of. So really, really pay attention to that kind of stuff, because that is how we get in trouble in this country, is people are listening to crap like that on television, The View, and Whoopi saying, well, the government's supposed to take care of us. No, what we do is we're supposed to provide for the government some taxpayer money. There are taxes that can be levied. Okay, that is constitutional. However, government is supposed to provide a national defense that we provide them resources for, and then government is supposed to defend our way of life, our liberty, our freedom, and again, national defense. Okay, other than that, they're supposed to get out of our way and allow us to be people to do what we're supposed to do every day: business, work, productivity, etc. So that mentality from Whoopi Goldberg is exactly why we are in the situation we're in right now is because we honestly have a group, and not just baby boomers. So I got to beat on the baby boomers too. Is they got Medicare, they got Social Security, they got all these different. Those are social programs. Now, I'm not saying take away that stuff all overnight. I'm not saying that we don't want to take care of them. Obviously, it was something they put in place, but technically, government was not responsible for that. Those were social programs that were put in by the deep state at the time, and it was a responsibility given from the people over to government, and now that's obviously completely corrupt, completely a mess. And yes, I want to see Social Security, I want to see Medicare, I want to see Medicaid, I want to see all these programs wiped off the table and destroyed. I don't want to do it overnight because we need to transition and we need to take care of the population that did pay into that system and take care of them until those citizens are obviously gone, because someday they're going to pass away. But I want to see these social programs gone, because if we actually get the money we're supposed to and not get taxed how we're supposed to, so the tax system the IRS was put in, that suppresses us. Do you realize how much money we don't have? Okay, how much money we don't have because they ripped it away through Federal Reserve Banking and IRS, which is a international organization. It's not a government organization. If you give that money back, and then we build up school systems where we educate people on proper finance, proper home economics, proper living, proper hygiene. Imagine if you were actually taught how to properly invest your money. If you were taught how to properly invest your money and made more money because you weren't being taxed, you could actually not need Social Security. You wouldn't need Medicare or Medicaid because we would have the funds to take care of ourselves. So I don't want to be yelled at by all the people who are 65 and older saying that they paid into it. I know you paid into it. Trust me, I'm paying into it too. I'm not saying I want it to go over overnight. I want you taken care of as well. But long term, in generations from now, it should not be in place. Now, on top of that, we have these 30-year-olds and younger, not all of them, but a good chunk of them, who have been bought into social programs, okay? And a lot of people will term them millennials, okay? I've done that too, but there are good ones too. Some millennials are really smart, right? But they've also been brought up in a government where everything has been given to them. They've been given a whole bunch of stuff, okay? We have to deal with these problems. These are government and society problems that we have to put away, okay? The founders of the United States of America, of this country, did not found this country based on socialistic policies. They did it to preserve a republic, land, liberty, the pursuit of happiness. That's what it was for, okay? And let me tell you, getting money given to yourself all day long for nothing, that is not happiness, okay? Happiness is going to work for a purpose every day, helping people, and taking care of one another. That's what happiness is, okay? Just wanted you to know that. Now, I'm going to share some headlines with you because some stuff came out tonight. One of them from my actual local town, and we'll talk about that in a second. The first one from Colorado. So let's take you over to that here. And let me bring that screen up. Great. Here we go. Colorado restaurant that illegally reopened without social distancing now ordered to close. Okay. Now, let me take you through this a little bit, okay? Because this is actually brand new, just out tonight. Castle Rock, Colorado, okay? A day after CNC Coffee and Kitchen defied Democratic government Jared Polis' executive safer-at-home order, packing the restaurant with hundreds of customers on Mother's Day. How wonderful is that, okay? Nearly every table was full at the restaurant when it opened its doors on Sunday morning, all right? This is wonderful. We stand for America and small businesses, the Constitution, and against the overreach of our governor in Colorado. Absolutely wonderful, okay? So, this was great. They were pushed back on, okay? This is a big problem. These guys were actually, I believe they're actually shut down. I did not get a chance to go through the entire article, but it was a big problem, okay? So if you're in Colorado, we probably need to know if you're in Colorado because this cannot go on, all right? This cannot go on. So this was Colorado restaurant Big problems, okay? But they did the right thing. They did just like Shelley Luther did in Texas, is they actually opened the restaurants, and they defied because they know that they have constitutional rights to do what they're doing. So that is so important. Absolutely, completely important. The next one is, now, here you go, folks. This one is in my backyard, okay? This is around the corner, basically, from where my office is. I actually shop at this store, okay? So Seminole County business owner sues Seminole business owner sues county over coronavirus mask order. Now, this is really important because this is actually, okay, so computer repair shop in Longwood. That is actually where my business is, Longwood, Florida, in Seminole County. Okay, so what happens is, it's Dave Leavitt of Refresh Computers. All right, he was not wearing a mask, okay? They were saying in Seminole County, I didn't even know this, by the way, that you had to wear a mask in your business if you were going to be within 6 feet of people, so not social distancing. By the way, just so you know, there is absolutely no scientific evidence for why 6 feet would be it, just so you know that, okay? Now, here is down here. See, they messed with the wrong person. So this Leavitt gentleman is a former leader of the Seminole County Libertarian Party. All right, he did not comment on it, but keep in mind, he's very smart. He's with the Libertarian Party. He knows exactly what his rights are. They wanted to fine him under $500 for this, okay? And here you go. It's the government telling me what I have to attach to my face, 17, he said. It violates my personal liberties. Okay? Very, very important. So, guys, this is what's actually going down here, okay? Back up there. I lost you. Okay. I'm getting used to all this software. You need to know what your liberties are. You need to know what your constitutional rights are. This is absolutely so important, okay? Know exactly what you're getting into. Now, for example, myself, we are not necessarily part of that because we're physicians. So as essential business owners, as physicians, we don't have to abide by that because obviously we're within 6 feet of people all day long. But you need to know. So that last one was Seminole County, Longwood, Florida, where I work, where I have a practice. The other one was Colorado, and I don't remember the city. I have to look that up for you. But you have to know what you're doing in your particular area, okay? Very, very important. Got it. Now, I'm taking you to the next headline, all right? This is a fun night. We're taking you to actual headlines. I'm going to take you to a George Soros article. Give me a heads up in the comments if you know who George Soros is and what you think about him right now, okay? All you out there in Facebook land, let me know if you know who George Soros is and what you think about him. Do you love him? Do you hate him? You're going to learn some more about him right now, okay? Let's head over to Soros and see what he has to say. Here is Soros. All right. George Soros, everything up for grabs. Soros sees big opportunities after COVID-19 endangers our civilization. Quite the headline, right? Billionaire currency speculator George Soros has hailed the coronavirus pandemic as the crisis of his lifetime. Does anybody else have any concern that George Soros looks like he is a old man zombie with the giant bags under his eyes? And I don't know. I don't personally know anybody that has bags under their eyes quite like that. So in my personal opinion, I think he is a very dangerous individual. And quite honestly, when your face looks like that, I believe you've done quite a bit of evil. You can let me know what you think, okay? Now, this is his actual quote. Even before the pandemic hit, I realized that we were in a revolutionary moment where what would be impossible or even inconceivable in normal times had become not only possible, but probably absolutely necessary, okay? So he was staging for this. He was getting ready for this, okay? He also thinks, ready, here we go. He wants to fight nationalism, right there. He's put $1 billion towards fighting nationalism. Now, you might say nationalism. What is that? That means being proud of America. That means staying within our borders and then having free or fair trade with other countries, but staying to ourselves, not going and bombing a billion other countries and taking all their money, taking everything else that they have, okay? That is not what was intended. Now, he says here, but despite essentially agreeing with Trump that we must protect our democratic open society. Now, that's a very key word, okay? And up here, he actually says it again, right here. China's battle, Soros speculated, declaring himself to be on the side of those who believe in an open society, right here. Open society means globalism, and it means a global world order. That's what that means. If you weren't sure of that, that's what that means, okay? He talks about it down here. He said he was originally behind Trump. BS, okay? We must protect our democratic open society. And he says Soros maintained his revulsion of American leader President Trump. And I will also say that I have put my faith in Trump to destroy himself, and he has exceeded my wildest expectations. Meaning, Trump, he believes Trump is destroying himself, and that's pretty much how this went, okay? Now, here, this is what I'm going to do now, okay? Because I want to talk about this. Oops. I want to talk about this is the bloodlines. Now, do you guys know what it means, the bloodlines, okay? Now, you're seeing right now my software pop up. Bloodlines. Many of you know, please tell me if you give me a comment, if you know, how deep do you know about bloodlines? Because this goes back all the way to the origin, and a lot of people have done projects on this talking about everyone in the elite stays within a bloodline. Okay, that's what they do. Now, how far back does this go? This goes very far back, okay? I'm going to show you a couple of things here. Now, it's impossible for me to show you in a couple minutes here what I have on how these actually work and how far back they go. But I'm just going to show you some pictures today. I actually got this. This is resource data from Benjamin Fulford, who's a great journalist on geopolitics. And it goes into basically all back to the kings and queens, and it goes back to Queen Victoria and even farther than that. But that's where they're bringing this back. And the fact that even presidents are part of a bloodline. Now, these bloodlines are also involved. So like Bill Gates, for example, they believe they're part of this bloodline. Now, with Bill Gates, keep in mind, part of this is they want control of the entire planet because they believe that they are God's chosen people. Okay? Not like Jewish people who believe they're God's chosen people. We're talking about these people are elite. These people suppress everybody, including the Jewish people. They suppress the entire population. They believe they're in charge, and they keep all of their family within this very thin line so that none of us, what would you call it, the dirty mankind is involved because they want to get rid of it. They want the planet to themselves, okay? And obviously they worship some really nasty stuff. But I'm going to show you this bloodline stuff, okay? And again, you're going to have to dive deeper into it. And if you want me, let me know if you would like me to. Maybe I'll just do a full like mini documentary on what I understand of it, and then what we can do is we can post that, we can put that up from what I understand and some of the research I've done. But I'm also going to show you some stuff here that you can go read through because a lot of people have already done some stuff on it, but it's very fascinating. So let me dive into this first article. I'm going to go through two articles here, okay? I'm going to go through two articles. One was released today by Fulford. Another one is actually one that I've actually had for a long period of time. I can't read it. It's 200 plus pages, but I'm going to scroll through it and show you some of the family names of the people in the bloodlines, okay? I hope this helps. Good. Let's jump in here. Okay, good. Here we go. All right. This is the first part. So I'm going to go to the top. I'm going to scroll up to the top so I can show you exactly what's going on. Now, the headline on this is already very in your face, okay? The headline is Victoria's Secret. Now, this will make you think about what does Victoria's Secret really mean? This actually might go even farther back because Queen Victoria was basically one of the cores of this. Now, it makes me think about Leslie Wexner, who was running Victoria's Secret. He was the founder, I guess, or whatever that was. And then he was involved with Jeffrey Epstein. All right. It's interesting because Queen Victoria is part of this. So Hitler was her grandson. Now, this is from the very beginning, obviously. Okay, Houston Stewart Chamberlain was the real father. Now, some of these names you're not going to necessarily recognize. I understand that, okay? That's not the point here. The point is going through all this stuff, okay? So it has Hitler up here at the top, the Duke of Windsor, King George V, Kaiser Wilhelm, and as you go down here, so look, in 1917, Winston Churchill ordered King George V to change his surname from Hanover to Windsor. This is all backdoor stuff, okay? Some people want me to zoom. I'll do the best I can. You might have to blow up your computer, okay? Because I can only zoom so much. But let me see how that works right now. Let me see on my thing if it comes up. Because I'm a little lag behind you guys on video, okay? Because of the way it worked. Good. That should work. That should be better. Okay, good. So I scroll down. Look how this goes through everybody. Now, I'm not going to read all this stuff, okay? You can go through. We'll put out some links. All right. This is going through the history of who was in charge, how they were in charge, okay? I'm going to go down to the bottom here because I actually want you to see, okay, 1868, Queen Victoria gave birth to a top secret girl in Switzerland. They're all marrying within each other. There's incest going on, you name it, okay? So Queen Victoria's top secret Swiss baby, that's right there. Houston and Clara were the parents of baby Adolf Hitler, okay? So there you go. See how this all ties in. You're going to have to read through this on your own when we get the link over, okay? But this is how it... So now you see how this all ties together. This is only halfway through the article right now, okay? More people, and I don't even know all these people, by the way, so I have not studied all of this necessarily, and I don't know that I'll study all of it because I kind of know what's going on. But this comes all the way up through to the end where you actually come back to, here you go, Adolf Hitler. All right. And the people he was involved with. So the woman, so this woman was given a slap on the wrist for her part in Hitler's rise to power, meaning she got away with it, okay? Denazification trial in 1947. So I know some of this is going through fast, but obviously I can only talk so much about all this. I'm not going to read it all out to you. These are the references, so it's not like the homework wasn't done. These are all the references, okay? So very, very, I will provide the link, yes. I don't even know if I can put the link in now, so I'll do it right after we're done here. Now, I'm going to go back over to this one. Now, this one is very fascinating, okay? This is 292 pages. I am not going to even read any of this stuff. What I'm going to do is I'm going to simply take you to some headings that he talks about, okay? Some headings. So if I scroll down, and I don't even know if I'm going to get all of them because there's so many, okay? Okay, Bloodlines of Illuminati by Fritz Springmeier, CIA. The first one, the Astor family. So chapter 1, okay? These were all the families come in. Now, I'm gonna do my best to see how many I can get through, but I don't know because I don't want to be scrolling for you guys all day. That's not really the point here. The point is so the Bundy bloodline. Okay, and he goes through each family with all of the resources to tie it. All of the resources, okay? The Collins bloodline. And then I know if I scroll through here far enough, I think I see the Rothschilds at some point. Again, I'm just scrolling fast because I want to show you the headlines. And there's branches of different families, so it branches off. But this is the work that has been done, okay? I'm going to show you one more. Let's see which one. Okay, so the DuPonts. That's the last one I'm going to show you. The whole point is there's many different ones there, and you should know about all these. Now, you don't have to go read them all, okay? You don't have to go read them all, but you should know. I'm going to see. Let me see if I can put this link in there for you right now. Hey, look at that. Guys, I just gave you the link. Okay? You can go look this up. There is your link. I just put it in. I hope that helps. Okay? Awesome. So that will give you a little idea of how this whole thing works. All right? It is very, very involved. It is intense, just so you know. Okay? Excellent. Okay. We're back. So I want to give you an idea of this because what I saw today on Twitter, the reason why this popped up on Twitter, the reason I popped up is because I saw someone posting this on Twitter. Remind me of the RH factor negative a little bit later, and I'll go into what my speculation is on this. But yes, it does play into all this. But my first thing I want you to show is what's happened here, and from what I have read. Now, you're going to have to go do more reading because I'm not saying what I've read is perfectly true. I've only read it a little bit. I haven't gone and checked different sources. I don't believe the current president is in this bloodline. All right? Meaning that this was all a buildup to Obama and then Clinton to take down this country and to overrun it by, again, these bloodlines. Okay? Remember I said last night that Hitler... There was the Holocaust over there. The next thing that was going to happen was they were going to do it here in America, and hopefully that is what we've avoided. But I said the bloodlines because as you dive into the Obama stuff, I think they're going to have to go down the bloodline road with everything. Now, that's not going to happen tomorrow, okay? They will slowly bring that out because if you don't tackle the bloodline aspect of this, then you don't actually tackle the source of the problem, okay? So if that is not tackled, then we still have similar or same thing going on, and that's obviously a major problem, okay? So need to know about that. It's very, very important that you know about that, all right? Good. I hope that helps. Everyone's talking about their blood, etc. So, okay. Would everyone like me to drop a secret on you regarding blood types in the RH negative? I'll give you a second until you catch up to the video where I just said that because you're a little behind. Are you wanting it? And it's a secret that is not easy to handle, okay? And it's, again, this is my study of it. You'll have to do your own research because it is a very deep rabbit hole, okay? And I'm not saying I fully agree because I don't fully know for sure. Again, it's a theory. My religious fans may not like this, just so you know. But there is a theory out there that we were, as a human species, we were crossbred between beings from somewhere else and whatever was here on Earth. Okay? So it is possible, in what I've read, is that the people with the RH negative might be a little special in regards to their blood. And I don't know if that's a good special or bad special. It doesn't mean anything's wrong with you. It just means that the blood has been slightly altered in your body versus somebody else. And I'm not going to dive really deep down into it. So a lot of people ask, does that mean that I'm reptilian? Not necessarily does that mean that. But I will tell you, medically, the RH negative makes absolutely zero sense. There's no backing behind it. There's no, for when they tell you they have to get an injection, there is no scientific anything behind when they say RH negative and why you have to get the injection. So I actually learned about it in school. About that because I've heard about it, but I didn't know it. I didn't understand it. So I actually read it in chiropractic school, and then when I heard about it, I'm like, okay, let me go looking. And what I did was I said, well, why would that be there? Why? Like, I just asked why. Okay, and keep in mind, as I said last night, I am personally willing to go down any road, even one that challenges my belief system, because I just like to learn. So I don't have to accept it necessarily as my belief system, but I'm more than happy to look at it and go, okay, what do I think of that? That's called scientific logically thinking. That's all that is, critical thinking. So I kept asking why. So I dove into it, and as I looked, and I said, and then I went down the road of, okay, Why creationism and why evolution, right? Why are they two very different paths that they both, science wants to take evolution, which, by the way, evolution has some pieces to it that could be truthful, but then I think there's pieces of it that are completely garbage, right? They could be thrown out. And then you have creationism, which I believe creationism makes far more sense, right? But then I read books that said, what if you take those and you put those two together? And what if both camps are not right and both camps are not wrong? And what if you put those together, what do you get? Then you get things like Anunnaki, you get things like splicing DNA, you get things like Rh negative, and that's where I started reading that stuff. And when I read it, I said, okay, well, scientifically, that could make some sense, right? Now, again, I do not have any solid evidence to say absolutely 100% that's what it is, so I'm not going to go down that road necessarily. Do I sit on that theory? I think that theory is plausible. But again, are we going to necessarily know that? I don't know. I mean, and ultimately it doesn't really matter, okay, because it doesn't really affect our lives anymore. So again, don't come jumping at me, getting mad at me because I took a different idea and I went with it. But I will tell you that it doesn't make any other sense. So there has to be something very interesting about it, and it's just it's a fascinating thing. I don't study it a lot. I think I probably looked down that rabbit hole like once or twice. But that the Rh negative would combine the evolution theory with the creation theory and put them together, which maybe that's why evolutionists and creationists battle so hard against each other, because both have some right and both have some wrong. And again, that's not me stepping on your toes. That's just coming up with questions, because ultimately, as critical thinkers, we are supposed to scientifically ask questions so that we can get answers to those questions. That is how science works. Okay, good. I hope that helps. Now that I went down that road, and I probably annoyed some people, but you know, you're gonna do that. That happens. Okay. Now, I want to take you down another road. So we are in a very interesting time, and obviously, and there's a couple things before I finish off tonight. The first one is that let's talk about purpose. Now, I actually was sitting at the front of my office today, and I watched a woman walk from a business that's next door to us across and put some garbage in her garbage can. I'm going to go deep philosophically thinking tonight. Is everyone okay with that? I hope so. She was walking her garbage across and she was throwing it away into a garbage can, and she walked back. But what I noticed about her was she looked very unhappy. She looked very bored. She looked like she didn't want to be doing what she was doing, and she was just carrying out a job. Okay? Now, that got me to thinking. About that time, I received a Facebook message from somebody who I won't name right now, and they were very, very busy helping their husband handle some media stuff going on in the last couple days. And she was asking me a couple questions, and she said, she was asking me like what about to do something, and she was helping her husband carry something out, and they're both so on purpose. And so I sat there and said to myself, all of you are watching right tonight, okay? And I appreciate all of you so much for watching. And all of you are very passionate about this subject, or you would not be watching. And what I want you to do is I want you to understand there's a difference in life between what you do every day for work and your purpose in life. All right? Very different things. Now, some of you, like myself, could be in a situation where what you do every day is part of your purpose. So, for example, my purpose is to restore America back to our ideal roots, while also helping people understand where health really comes from, and go back to their roots for healthcare as well. Go back to the land, go back to what God gave us, go back to all this stuff and restore this, okay? That's my purpose. That's not what I do necessarily all day long every day. Now, because I don't work every single day on just like restoring America. I like help people and everything else. That's part of my purpose, but it's also my job. That's what I do, okay? if you are out there right now, so we need some things in America right now that are very important. We need people putting together possible protests down the road to tell their governments that they will not put up with this. We need people creating pages and streams and shows like I'm doing right now. If you have an ability to speak, ability to talk, we need people out there helping us spread this message very fast across the web, okay? We have people, and your purpose doesn't have to be this, obviously. But what I'm saying is, I looked at that woman walking across with the garbage today, and one, I could tell from a distance that she didn't really have a purpose in life. And I don't want to judge her or anything like that. That's not my job right now. What I want to say is, she looked like she was very, and I may actually go talk to her next time I see her and just like say hi. But she looked like she didn't have a purpose, and she looked like she barely could do her job or didn't want to do her job. And then I wonder, okay, what's her family like? She's probably not fully awake on all these subjects. And this is a problem in America. Now, some of us are very blessed to be able to carry out our purpose by helping people and making very good money doing it. A lot of people out there are struggling right now. And between maybe poor upbringing, not enough education, maybe some opportunities weren't there, whatever it is. But this is a time to, even if your job is not every day to fulfill your purpose. So say maybe you work at a grocery store as a cashier, or maybe you run a garbage truck, or maybe you dig a ditch, or maybe you are a doctor and that's just what you do, but you don't do anything else other than that, or maybe you're a nurse, or maybe you pump gas. I mean, all these different things. Now, that might be your job, and you might actually really like your job. Don't stop what you're doing. That's fantastic. I love that you love what you're doing. However, that's probably not your purpose. That might earn you money, but that's not your purpose necessarily. And if it is your purpose, and if you built a purpose around that, go for it. I'm not saying not to. But if you're struggling with purpose and you're struggling with a job, maybe do your job and find a better job, but maybe also on the side, find your purpose. Because a lot of people ask me, like, how do you fit all this in? How do you do this? How do you get the time? And I always tell people, I just make it. Meaning, what I do, so I have mostly two jobs every day. I mean, I have several jobs, but like taking care of my family, hanging with my wife, my daughter, etc. But my jobs are doing this, obviously, because I feel like this is a job, and not a job in a bad way. And I'm a doctor. I get to help people naturally all day long, and I get to do that. So I get to fulfill this purpose. I'm fulfilling my purpose right now, speaking and talking to you guys. Okay, that's what I'm doing. But there's too many people out there who are not happy with life. They are struggling. This really hit them hard. This is the moment to find your purpose. Like, for example, the woman was messaging back and forth on me with the phone today that was helping her husband out. She is on purpose right now. Like, she is like, her husband's doing the thing he needs to do. She is assisting him, and she is in a purpose right now of making their life amazing, but also getting a message out to save this country. All right. And again, your purpose doesn't have to be to save the country. It could be helping moms. It could be helping kids. It could anything like that. But our purpose is to drive this planet forward. Okay. So I just want you to know that. Really, really focus on your purpose and get it right, because when the purpose is on, even a job you may not love right now becomes easier to do, because it's fueling the purpose you're driven on every single day. And keep in mind, your purpose can also be part of your job. Your job can also be part of your purpose, or they can be completely separate. Okay, you can still love your job even if it's not part of your purpose. But the purpose is your main goal in life. It means what you want to do and how you want to set this planet in a positive way. Okay, if that's helping people at church, helping kids, it doesn't matter. But do me a favor. Find your purpose, because I saw that woman and she didn't look happy, and I just was like, okay, I don't think she has a purpose by looking at her from a distance, and I can tell she really doesn't love her job. And we need people. I want everyone on this planet, I want everyone in America to imagine a country where everyone was on purpose and had jobs that they actually liked, or was at least fueling their purpose. Okay, So I hope that makes sense. I hope I'm not just kind of rambling on. I hope that is a message for somebody, because I thought about that today, and something told me, the little God voice told me to tell you that. Now, last but not least, this is something a little more challenging to chat with you about, but it's something that's extremely necessary for me to talk about. Okay? I'm going to tell you a story. I'm not going to give you any names for privacy reasons, but we had an individual, and I don't even know if I'll get the full story right. I'm going to go based off of what I was told by people in the office around me. Was this weekend, someone we know through the office, their child was on their phone communicating with a friend, and if you're watching right now and listening to this, do me a favor, get everyone around your phone, your TV, or whatever as you watch this, because this is so important that you know this, because this could very well save your life or other people's lives around you. And they need to know this, because this is deadly serious, and I don't want anyone falling into this problem ever again. Okay? So this girl was messaging a friend, and this girl was having some issues, maybe a little anxiety, maybe a little depression, maybe a little just stuff, okay? And struggling. And I think she probably felt very not worthy, just not good enough, some things like that, right? And she messaged back her friend, and something along the lines of maybe she would just go hurt herself. Now, those aren't the exact words. I'm only using words that I know that I could at least generalize on. Now, what happened next was that friend, now keep in mind, these people that I'm talking about are not adults, not adult age. Okay, I'm not going to give you any ages or any information to protect people, but the friend actually called the police and emergency workers and said, basically reported the person for being dangerous or in a lot of trouble. The police showed up at this place, at this house. The parents were there, and the police came out. They questioned, and then they questioned the person who was involved. It said they might do something to harm themselves. And then, without any parental approval, without, I think, anything signed off on, this person was put into the back of a squad car and, as we call it, Baker acted, and sent to basically a psych facility. Okay? Now, that's not cool. All right? Not cool at all. So that person was sent to a psych facility, and the parents were obviously extremely, extremely concerned. Now, keep in mind, no adult turned this person in. It was simply another, basically, child turned another child in. And now, from here, and I'm trying my hardest to keep this very general. The mom actually called, I believe, one of our staff, because my wife is connected to these folks, and they called one of our staff and said, "What do I do? What do I do?" Now, one of our other staff, this happened to their child about a year or two ago, and so this staff had a lot of experience with it. It happened over about a week or so, and it was horrible because I was also a bit involved. And so luckily they knew what to do, and the organization, so I just put an organization right here. Okay? That organization, Citizens Commissions for Human Rights, our staff knew what they did, and they had the mother, I believe, the parents call this place. And I believe within hours, this organization within hours was on top of the case, and they got this person out of the facility. And this person was in our office today. My wife was taking care of them. The parents were there. Everyone is okay and safe. This person was not medicated and not drugged. And the only reason this person was not medicated and not drugged was because of getting the information to these people who went in and helped them out. Now, if they were not involved, this could have been a very long ordeal. That child would have been drugged, medicated with horrible drugs that will do far worse to you than what she originally. And afterwards, by the way, they talked to the person who said they might hurt themselves, and she said no. It wasn't really like I wasn't going to do it. They were friends going back and forth. And I don't know if now, before I go into this, everything is fine now. The child's home. The child was with us today in the office, being taken care of, getting anything handled health-wise naturally, because the parents are already on board with us. And so getting the problem is you have a child reporting another child over a phone message that they didn't even know what the message actually meant. So I don't know about you, but I grew up in a world where when I was kids, I don't know about we used to tell each other we were gonna kill each other. Like if we were in a fight or we were playing football out in the backyard or whatever it was, I remember telling him, like, I'll kill you, you'll kill me. Like this was how we played. We did stupid things, we said stupid things. I probably remember saying some stupid things about myself because I couldn't, pass a test or reading, or I'm dumb, or like whatever, right? But this whole thing on Baker acting is very dangerous. They're now letting kids turn other kids in. And by the way, if they show up and your kid says something and actually confirms of what they might have said, even if it was a joke, they will take the kid from the parents, right? That's what will happen. And they will medicate them if they can. If you don't get an organization like CCHR involved, they will get medicated. You have to know how this works, okay? Now, why is this occurring? This is occurring because our society has decided to let go of responsibility from our kids, meaning we do not take care of our kids anymore. We feed them complete trash. Then when a doctor tells us that they are sad or depressed or lonely or whatever it is, like some of them obviously are issues that we have to handle, but most of the stuff is childhood stuff that because they're not getting outside, they're on a video game, they're on a cell phone, and they're not living the same life that we grew up with, which was being outside, being around other people, sometimes bullies, sometimes not bullies, we had to defend ourselves, etc., all this different stuff. And then they go to school, and they're getting taught stuff that they don't understand, and this is all a problem. And then when they don't understand, they get a mental health screening. And then they're medicated. And we're medicating our kids to death. This is dangerous stuff. Once you start down that road of those types of medications, your children start changing. Their brains are chemically altered. And a lot of people ask, well, why would you talk about this on a network about patriotism and everything? This is about our country. We are losing our kids because we are drugging them out of their minds, and we have stupid rules in place or stupid laws in place where one kid could be encouraged by the communistic school system that tells them to turn their friends in if they say something that might be a little strange. Let me tell you, if we had these rules around when I was in school, we would have all been put away because we used to beat the hell out of each other outside at the recreation or whatever it was, intermission. I don't know what it was called, but anyway, we used to beat the hell out of each other. We had bullies all the time. We beat each other up. We swore at each other. I mean, when we were kids, I got like an hour of video games, maybe a day or a week, whatever it was. We had to go outside, we had to play, and if we had these rules, man, we would have all been in, right? But we didn't, because society at one point was still more normal than it is right now. We must protect and save these children because we're destroying them. Keep adding on the processed refined sugar. Keep adding on the Twinkies and the Kit Kats and the Doritos. When you have kids that come in and you find out that they ate a donut for breakfast, if they even had anything, and then they have Doritos and processed trash for lunch, and then they go home, and sometimes they don't even eat because they're so stressed out about a stupid test that will never, ever dictate any of their future, right? And either they eat that or they eat pizza at night. Now, you have a completely refined carbohydrate, sugar, junk fest all day long. Their brains can't even comprehend anything that's coming in because it has zero fuel. Then you test them into oblivion with standardized BS tests that do nothing for you, all right? Standardized tests are garbage, all right? If your teacher's out there and you are upset with that, so be it. Guess what? We didn't have standardized tests. Standardized tests before us weren't there, and we turned out okay. They are dumbing your kids down for a reason, because then they make money off of mental health screenings. They're killing and drugging your children, and we are asleep at the wheel. And then they put BS rules and laws in like this, where a kid can turn in a kid. They will get stripped out of your hands as a parent, and they will get drugged with medications that will make them think about suicide, homicide, you name it. These medications are dangerous. They're street narcotics. Every single school shooting in America in modern history, the shooter was on at least one psychotropic medication with suicidal and homicidal thoughts as side effects. And they will rip these kids out of your hands without you agreeing to it, because it's under the law that they created. These politicians and pharmaceutical companies created these laws to kidnap and steal your kids after they drug them. And then they send them back home all medicated, and then they're never the same again because they chemically altered their kids. And this is because of video games, television, entertainment, food, all this different stuff. And on top of that, parents not being connected with their kids. That's what this cabal, globalist, New World Order piece of crap thing that we have in place right now, that's what they designed to put your kids in a prison. And then I saw this kid today, and I went up and told her, I said, don't worry, there's nothing wrong with you. The world is what's actually crazy. Because she's being told that she's probably stupid or dumb or being told probably a million different things, right? And instead of actually finding her gift, something she's really good at, instead of finding out what she could do to be productive in school and society, instead they leave her behind, and then then she has all these thoughts that come rushing in, and then these things occur. And if you think it's just that one, it's happening across the nation. It's time for us to not only stand up for our country, but honestly, more importantly, we have to survive for our kids. We have to get our kids back on board. We have to get our family units back on board, because this is past dangerous at this point. And so the good part about this is this one is saved. Why? Because the parents jumped in. We got the organization involved right here, and they went in. They have attorneys. They know how the system works. They got her out, and now she's actually getting good whole food supplements, nutrition in her body, and we're going to get this brain built back up for her, get her mind working better, get her body working better, because that's what she actually deserves. And so within a few months, she'll be back to where she should have been and get her handled. So I wanted to tell you that tonight, because even though I never ended up in a psych facility myself like this, I was ranked in the 98th percentile of ADD, ADHD. And I was distracted by everything all the time. My brain wasn't functioning because I was eating trash food in my 20s. And then fast forward up to today, life saved by quality nutrition, quality chiropractic care, amazing people around me, including my wife, who helped put me back together and get this brain actually working again. And then finding out this amazing thing. When you actually get the brain working again and get it well fed and nourished, this thing actually gets really creative and you can do really productive and amazing things in life. And so it's part of my purpose to help save these kids. I get to do this every single day. So that is fun for me. If you have any kids who are struggling with this stuff, let me know. Let us know. We are able to save these kids every week in our practice who come in and have these issues. And honestly, it's part of the purpose. So I love doing it. And I will tell you, you can even ask my wife when she's on live next time. Usually when these kids are in the office, I go out of my way to go up to them and let them know that there's nothing wrong with them. I pretty much tell every single kid that has this problem in the office that comes in that, one, not only is there nothing wrong with you, the world went crazy on you. And you're actually the one who's sane because you're the one that's questioning everything. And that's actually what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to question until things make sense to you and you know that they're true and real. So I leave you with that. I hope that helps. We love helping these kids and it makes me feel better every time we know that we saved another one. But that's what I'll leave on, is saving these children from this system that has been put together, and hopefully we can change this entire system within the next 6 months to a year to 2 years, because I will tell you, ADD, ADHD is a fraud diagnosis. If your kid has been diagnosed with that, it is a made-up diagnosis, which means, one, they're undernourished, most likely in the brain, but also you have to find out what connects them, right? What turns them on? What makes their creativity just go into, like, these kids are tapped from school. And these kids are absolutely tapped out from school. They are done. They're tired of sitting for 6 to 8 hours a day. They want to be outside. They need to use their brains. They need to use their body. So we have to save them. That is our job. That is also your job. You have to save your kids and help save the friends of your kids around you, okay? Hope that helps. Dr. Jason Dean, Revolution Network, signing off for tonight. I hope this was good. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it brought value to you. If you need anything, of course, always let me know. Reach out, message, email. We get you taken care of. And I'm sorry I didn't take any questions tonight. I wanted to get all this information in for you guys because I found it very important, and I'll get the questions in the next couple nights. But be well, take care of yourselves, and let's go out and make